They get us to start our day with healthy cereal, and then we're craving carbs for the rest of the day. We're facing a food system that is meticulously designed to keep us hungry and tired. It's a system that treats our obesity as a lack of discipline and blames us for our misery. But once you understand the biological signals being sent to your cells, the game changes. You stop fighting your appetite and start managing your hormones. I'm not a doctor, so this isn't medical advice. It's the biological roadmap that I use to end my cravings and reclaim my life. You should always, of course, work with your healthcare provider, but you also need to understand the reality of what's happening inside of your body, because if we don't address the problems now, the cost is much larger than a pant size. Please subscribe. It really frustrates me how well they've trained us to care more about how we look than why our body is storing fat every day if we are eating the healthiest foods possible. And now I'm talking about when we're actually trying to lose weight, when we're trying to be healthy. Every adult that I know has at one time or another made a conscious effort to eat healthy and get their weight under control and failed. Most of us who have skin issues rush to the doctor for pills and creams rather than adjust what we eat. We have no idea the expression of health we see on the outside is a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside. We don't know that. You'd think that'd be something that we would have been taught in elementary school because it's that important. Companies have us worried about how our clothes fit, what makeup covers the blemishes the best way, and how many pounds we can bench press at the gym if you're a gym rat. But we are ignoring the visceral fat that is building up around our organs. So they focus us on the soft, annoying fat on the outside of our body, the aesthetic stuff, while the toxic, inflammatory fat wraps itself around our heart and liver and kidneys.
Visceral fat accumulates deep inside the body and surrounds the abdominal organs.
We need to understand that all of this starts with insulin resistance. So think of your body like a house. We can see the paint peeling and the old kitchen cabinets just by looking at it. Those are cosmetic fixes that are annoying, but not at all harming the function of the house. But insulin resistance is like the electrical wiring being a total hack job from the house flipper you bought the house from, who cut every corner they could. The house isn't on fire yet, but it's the reason for the unexplained joint pain and skin rashes and brain fog that you're having all the time that's ruining every single day. If we don't address the wiring immediately, it isn't just a cosmetic problem. We're setting ourselves up for a metabolic disaster. Insulin resistance is the stepping stone to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and a pharmacy membership none of us really wants. This isn't about a number on a scale. We are really risking our ability to show up for family functions, to move without pain, to simply live our lives when we don't address what's going on internally. But I didn't really get it until my own wiring started to smoke. At my heaviest, I was worried about how my clothes fit and my skin rashes, while I was limping around, not truly understanding that my body was physically breaking down. My joints hurt since I was 23 years old. The rashes that no ointment or cream helped but cost me thousands. I mean, I've spent thousands because I tried everything that was suggested to me, had been there at least 11 years. And the weight, no matter how many healthy grains I ate or how much I tried to cut calories, my weight didn't change. The time and energy that I put into reading labels, working out, avoiding fried foods, and listening to the experts only for my rashes and joint pain to get worse, my weight to keep rising. And you know what? With the pain, it's with you all the time. You never get a break. When I found out that my joint pain and rashes were being caused by inflammation, it was like someone let me out of jail. In just 3 short months, my joints felt better and my rashes were calm enough that I didn't need to put any expensive creams on anymore. And eventually I learned that all of my issues were brought on by the same issue, right? So those healthy grains, fruits, and high carbohydrate vegetables that they convinced me to eat, that they're the healthiest possible thing that I could be putting into my body, were actually messing with my wiring and set my skin and joints on fire.
And here's the part that most people miss, because they say that sugar is bad, but complex carbs are good. And here's what they don't understand, that they are exactly the same thing. That if we take this glucose and we start chaining it together, then it becomes long, long chains, and they're called starch. That is what we find in rice, potatoes, and grains, etc. When the body stores carbohydrate, then we chain them up a little bit different, and it's called glycogen, but it's the same stuff. Even wood and fiber is still made up of glucose, except it's just configured a little differently, so in some cases we can't break it down.
The healthy seeds and legumes and all the garbage drives insulin resistance. For 23 years, every single doctor acted like if my joint pain, my rashes, and the weight were 3 different problems. And let us not forget that my migraines were never linked back to this. The painful menstrual cramps never linked back. The tinnitus never linked back to this. Everything was treated like it was a separate ailment, when in fact, all of it was solved when I stopped eating garbage. Why would that be? By listening to my body and eating what was biologically appropriate, my insulin resistance resolved itself, and all of my joint pains gone. I didn't just lose weight, Wellness Warrior. I actually got my life back. And honestly, the rashes and joint pain probably saved my life. If I was just overweight, I might not have taken the steps to learn why I was in pain, right? Because I wouldn't have had the pain to fight with. I would still be risking my heart and kidneys to eat garbage because I was just unaware that while I'm eating all this fun stuff, the visceral fat was wrapping itself around my organs like a friggin' noose. And that's the real trap. Cutting portion sizes or working out does not change the fact that we are eating grains, nuts, fruits, or whatever else that is full of toxins that are actively problematic to our body. I mean, I'm not even touching when I'm eating real junk food like chocolate and ice cream and cookies and chips and all that kind of stupidness. If we keep eating everything in moderation, we are essentially shoving more wires into the wall that are not up to code. Moderation doesn't work because fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and legumes are actively contributing to the insulin resistance in your body. And our body's response to these toxins is to store them in fat cells to neutralize them.
A toxin is anything that disrupts cellular function. There is a certain equilibrium, there's a certain harmony where the cells perform their optimal function, and anything that interferes with that is a toxin. And these toxins could be coming from the outside, external, or they could be generated internally. And the problem starts when the buildup is greater than the removal. So we have a system in place to remove toxins. And as long as we can keep up, then we're doing okay.
Right? It's like, you know what the crazy part is? While our body is frantically putting the carbs and toxins in fat storage to keep us safe from all these plant foods that we're eating, right? It's putting it in fat storage. We are complaining about our weight gain and doubling down on eating more healthy grains, more fruits, more vegetables. Bring them in. We need to force the weight down. We're so convinced by food and pharma that these foods are healthy. We just keep eating the garbage that is making us gain weight. It's making us inflamed, and it's increasing the visceral fat. And who gets blamed for all this when it's not working, when our weight is still rising? We do. We aren't trying hard enough, working out enough, or being moderate enough when they are fully aware that they are encouraging us to eat foods that trigger our pain and our overeating. The solution is to change what we've been eating to help our body heal. Now that we know what our body is doing, we need to stay ahead of the companies. Right? This isn't about finding better versions of the foods that ruined our joints and skin. So those keto versions of junk food, that's not what this is about. It's about eating real food so our body can build and repair us while we feel satiated. Companies taught us that food is fuel, period. But that isn't reality. Food contains the instructions of how our bodies will function. And that information determines whether we create healthy bodies or painful sick ones. When we shift to a diet based on high quality animal fats and protein and remove the plants and grains that were making our joints and skin scream, we send a new signal to ourselves, right? We're telling our body that the emergency is actually over. Like, you don't have to store the toxins anymore because we stopped bringing them in. We are doing all of this, Wellness Warrior, because of one simple reality. A healthy body regulates its weight. By prioritizing animal protein and fat, that's how we give our heart, liver, kidney, brain, basically every internal organ that has been begging for real food, we give it the building blocks they've needed to repair themselves and get rid of all the damage that's going on inside of us. We are also simultaneously giving insulin a chance to drop back to baseline, which then releases us from that perpetual fat storage mode that we've been living in. Well, I lived in it for 46 years, right? This isn't just about going keto. Eating real food actually allows our body to metabolically reset. And by the way, eating an appropriate diet for humans also eliminates those cravings that companies are depending on to keep us purchasing their stupidities, right? These things, we don't buy them when we're not craving. Meaning, your body doesn't crave junk if you eat the food it asks for in the first place. Good health is not the complicated calorie counting, exercise routines and shakes, protein shakes that companies want you to think it is. All you need to know is to eat one ingredient foods, right? It's one rule. And if you do that one rule, you're going to thrive. It eliminates all the processed foods, because if I'm eating real one ingredient foods, then this stuff stops being an option. It just isn't. Meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and salt are staples of a healthy body, right? Low glycemic vegetables, if you actually do keto, then you keep those glycemic vegetables to the lowest you can.
Step 1, remove all sugar. Step 2, remove all grains and beans. Step 3, remove vegetable seed oils. Now step 4 is an additive step. Cover at least half of your plate with meat, eggs, and fish. But the new food guideline, the food pyramid, makes it obvious that that's what you should do.
And by following this one simple rule, you're automatically stripping away the garbage that's forcing your body to create visceral fat in the first place. You know, the least amount of vegetation coming in, the healthier you're going to feel, the healthier your body's going to be, because it then has no need to put anything in storage. Just imagine, Wellness Warrior, that tomorrow you could have bacon and eggs for breakfast without feeling guilty, because now you actually know that it was the juice and the toast that was causing your weight to rise, that was causing your skin problems, that was causing whatever other things that was going on with you.
If you eat a pound of bacon versus one apple, you're going to have a better insulin level, a better glucose level. You're going to have every single amino acid and fatty acid that your body needs, but that's not what a lot of people have been taught.
Starting your day with 0 carbs and a high quality animal protein and fat breakfast tells your body that the emergency is over. We aren't in danger any longer, and we can regulate our hormones, reset our insulin, and get back to healthy weight. Now, I have a quick question for you. If you were guaranteed that 1 year from now, you would make $1 million, so in your pocket, $1 million after taxes, but what you needed to do was work a boring job for 1 year, would you do it? And before you just jump and say yes, you have to work weekends too. This is a real year of work, but it's 1 year, and then you are a millionaire in the bank. Oh, so you're still saying yes. Cool. When I started my keto journey to fix my painful hip, right, and all my joint pains, I thought it would take years to solve this because it took me years to put the weight on. I didn't gain 80 pounds in a year. It took years. And I committed to the keto diet because I was so, first of all, in pain. I couldn't think of my life continuing with this pain. And guess what? It worked faster than I could have ever imagined. 3 months later, that's it. I was pain-free. No more pain. The pain was actually gone. I was walking around. I was back to riding my longboard and riding my bike. I was 3 months earlier not able to step up on a curb, not able to climb the stairs properly, like doing the one-legged climb like a baby does, like a toddler does. And now 3 months later, I was running around again. 5 months total from when I started the diet, I was at goal weight. Wellness warrior. Our bodies are amazing and can rebuild us if we give them the right tools, can get us to healthy weight if we give them the right fuel and tools, right? Because your body needs to be healthy to get you to the right weight. Like I hope I said that enough times. In fact, not only did I get my weight back, get my joints to work again, my sleep improved. My tinnitus is gone. I no longer have gas and bloating. I have more energy than I've had. And I am older today, by the way, and I have more energy. I'm stronger today than I was 10 years ago. My mood is stabilized. I have mental clarity. And I do not crave junk food any longer. I love how I look in my clothes. And my skin has cleared up. Right? I do all of my activities with ease. I'm standing to make this video, and it's been, I've been standing because I made more than one video in a row. So more than an hour I've been standing. Couldn't do that before with my hip killing me like it was killing me. I want to swear, when I stopped eating garbage and let my insulin levels get back to the normal place where they should have been, the world changed for me. And the most important part that I now today know, I didn't know it before, but I know it now, is that I began to lose visceral fat. That was like living around my organs.
Their A1C in 1 month is going to be down 1 or 2 points. Okay, now let's extend it out to 3 months. Their fatty liver is going to be either gone or almost completely gone. Fatty pancreas is a distant memory at 3 months. Okay, their A1C is, if it was started at 12, it's going to be down to 8 in 3 months on a carnivore diet. Okay, their blood sugars are going to be much better. Their fasting insulin is going to be much better. Their A1C, which maybe was 6 before, their HSCRP, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Their CRP, which was maybe 6 before, is now going to be down to 3. Their inflammation is better because when you cut the carbs, you also cut the phytochemical load, didn't you? Drastically. And so if the phytochemicals were causing any degree of inflammation, that inflammation is going to be improved. You completely eliminated vegetable seed oils because they're now cooking with bacon grease, beef tallow, and butter. So that's why their HSCRP improves so much in just 3 months. It may not be back to normal. Their A1C may not be back to normal. Their blood pressure is going to be significantly lower. Maybe not back to normal in 3 months, but it's going to be much improved in 3 months.
We're so focused on how our clothes fit when it's the visceral fat that's releasing the inflammatory chemicals that are making us sick. Every meal you eat that follows the one ingredient rule is a yes to your health and a huge get the heck away from me to greedy food companies who don't care about your health. They don't care about my health. They don't care about us. So, was it worth it, the 90 days of my life that I didn't eat processed stupidity? The results at day 91 helped me to understand that it wasn't a sacrifice at all. It was an eye-opening wake-up call. A wake-up call with positive side effects. I could eat bacon, whole eggs, and fried chicken while I lost weight and got healthy. I'd never been able to stick to a diet and much less enjoy one. I've never enjoyed dieting before. Wellness Warrior. It has been 2,863 days since I started my keto way of life, and I can tell you that it is absolutely sustainable. I'm the healthiest and the happiest that I've ever been, and I'm enjoying my life again. Obesity isn't a character flaw. It's a signal of an insulin resistance and a buildup of toxic visceral fat that your body is fighting to manage while we are eating the wrong stuff. I want you to forget all the mainstream lies about how to lose weight and focus your attention on eating one ingredient foods. That's meat, fish, poultry, eggs, low glycemic vegetables, salt. Focus on that. You don't have to live in a painful body or be a victim of the food system that profits off your misery anymore. Now, while the one ingredient rule is simple, there are specific healthy foods that the system, stupid food system uses to bait us back into the inflammatory cycle. So I want you to watch this video. It's the blueprint to weight loss and the next steps in the strategy to navigate those first few weeks so that you can stay healthy and get your visceral fat under control and get your life back. So click on the link and I'm going to see you over there on the road to health. Let's go.